As a sophisticated analog synthesist, these plugins are normally not really satisfying. You have all this Serum and Silent and Icarus. Well, it's wonderful plugins. You can do EDM and it's fantastic. The sound is fantastic. But once you're coming from analog, I'm always in search of plugins that might be interesting for me. And one of those is, because I'm a very big EMS fan, I work with EMS synthesizers also, and I did this video on EMS Synthi 100, you might know. Well, there's this Xils 4 by Javier Audin. He's a French guy. He's been working for Arturia and programmed this, and I believe whenever you do a serious synthesis and want to understand how a modular system works, you can do this patching thing via Moog 55 system, Moog Modular by Arturia, or you take the Xils when you're more into this experimental stuff. And I'm just going to show you how it's working here, and after that you can listen to it. Well, it's not possible to do this in 1 hour or 2 hours. I try to keep it short just to give you a short impression of how it sounds, and after that you can decide by yourself if it's useful for you. It's not this pad and whatever machine. It's into experiments and understanding what's going on with synthesis. So I think it's very, very nice, and now let's have a look at it. Let's start from scratch. You somehow get lost if you don't know the philosophy of EMS. EMS has got this matrix, and this is a very big VCS3, I would say. It's not a Synthi 100, but it goes into the direction. The matrix is not as big as the Synthi 100, more VCS3 like. So what have we got here? I have a little patch. You take the keyboard in here, and the keyboard goes to the oscillator frequency. So this is the input section, and then you have a second matrix where you can put in, let's say I take oscillator 1, just one oscillator. The oscillator goes into a filter. Here I put this pins. These are resistor pins you use in the original, and they have different resistances, so you also can change this here. So it goes into the filter, and the filter goes into the envelope, and the envelope signal goes out, and here we go. I have a sound. Whenever you understood that, this is right good starting point. An envelope is over here, and you can switch between ADSR and trapezoid. Let's check the ADSR. It's working like an ADSR, of course. No problem at all. And as soon as you switch to trapezoid, you have the trapezoid signal here, and can intensify it and go into self-oscillation of the trapezoid. Quite nice, yes? When you change the frequency of the oscillator, you can do this. But so far, let's stay with the ADSR. You don't have the in the original VCS, but it's got trapezoid, which I think is much more interesting. So here it is, and then you can use the filter, of course, because we remember the oscillator was routed into the filter, and the filter into the envelope, and the oscillator into the filter, and the filter into the envelope. So that's quite easy, and it's working out of the box. So this is very basic. Let's check the sequencer. The sequencer in original is only in the Synthi 100 as far as I know. Well, you have the AKS where you have the sequencer in the keyboard, but this is quite complicated. When you're working with a real Synthi 100, I can tell you it's a hard job to run the sequencer. But here I say sequencer A, it's got different layers, goes into oscillator frequency, and layer 1 is going into trapezoid. And after that, you can go in here and start the sequencer. So it's working, and I say erase all. You can say how many steps should it do here, max, let's say 10, 11. I do a step sequencer now, and current I'm now around 4, right mouse click is going down here, and it's written record here, and why not recording? I can do it step by step, next, 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 next. Okay, say stop and start, and here it goes. Yes. On the right side here you can say how fast it should be and the slew rate. And while it's running, of course, tempo. And do something with the frequency. And from now on I switch over here again and say another oscillator running in here. That's the second one, and this is the third one, and I can tune them. And check around with the shapes. Everything by saying oscillator 3 is manipulating this here. Or the trapezoid is affecting the filter. And so on. You see, you start from scratch, then you go to this matrices here and combine everything, and then it's a hell of a synthesis going on. And after that you go to the right side here, there's also main extended or both. You have a second one you can combine with the first one. So quite nice. You have many with Xils 1.5, that's the latest one. You have this new browser, and you can see, yeah, Chris, that's me, I did a few sounds, and other people did sounds. There's quite a lot of nice and interesting sounds in here you can listen to and manipulate, and when it's done, you can do what I did just now. You see here, and try to understand what the guy did there. I hope he knew what he was doing. Normally you need the original to really understand what's going on. Well, what I like about this whole thing is that it's coming quite near, the sound is coming quite near to the original. I hate it normally to use a clone when you have the original, but who has? So for you it's very interesting, and even it's the little quirkiness in the oscillators and the trapezoid, it's not perfectly. I think Javier programmed it in a way that it's coming near to the original. I wrote in a message that he should try to check out if he can extend the matrix and do an S100. But then you have this GUI thing that it's not fitting in here. You can't scale it, and well, okay. But in a way, for every advanced synthesis, this is a real recommendation to check this, and don't spend your money on these flashy things. Try to get into this, and once you understood this, you understand a lot more about synthesis than doing this preset thing. Can it do pads, and can it be integrated in the DAW? Can you run different Xils here? Oh, sure. In the next few minutes or next minutes, I just show you one thing I did here with different Xils to show you that it can be eclectic, like normal synth you use like pads and sequences running, or it can be experimental. Also using the in Cubase, using the automation pads. Okay, let's have a look at that. Here we go. You can do pads, and it's wonderful pads, really great. Very powerful, you cannot do that with the original. So I put in 3 Xils here, just let them open. And what I did, first of all, I do this nice pad thing. You can listen to it and get an impression how it sounds. And after that, I go into more experimental things. And what I did in Cubase is I did a track automation with the last Xils on track 3.